All right. So IntelliJ, we're gonna create a new project, right? As you can see, we got so many here going on, but we're gonna click on new project, and I hope this will also give you a reminder on how we created the other projects. So if I click on new, and it will then spit out this window where we will choose Maven, right? Because that's the only version control tool that we're using. Sorry, not version, uh, build management tool. So Maven is again what is build management tool that that manages dependencies. So I click next, and I'm gonna give it a nice name. So let's say learning to, okay, you know what, BDD test automation, right? So let's give it a nice name this time around. All right. So notice how it opened the very first thing it opened is pom.xml. Okay. And there's a good reason for that is because this project right now is empty, right? It doesn't really have much um, going on. The first thing first is if we want to make it BDD, we need few things. Um, if we want to make it BDD, we need at least dependencies that will make us uh, be able to write in BDD and code in BDD. All right, so first thing first is remember dependencies tag. So what will we put in here, right? So dependencies, this is the beginning of dependencies, and right next to it is the ending. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up this space. Here I will need to add things that I will be using throughout the whole project. So let me just clean it up. Okay, so the first thing that I need here is um, basically assert. Mm, and then we're gonna add assert j. Right, that's the first thing, dependencies. By the way, this is how you comment out in XML. Okay, you cannot do just this and it will not work. Okay, so every language, every different type of language, you will need to learn how they comment out, how they write their syntax, right? All right, so that's one. The second one we need, and I'm gonna just keep writing it out until we have a plan. The second one is cucumber, right? So the second one would be adding cucumber. The third one is going to be io.cucumber. So again, these are at least these are some dependencies that allow you to be to be a BDD framework, right? So just gonna lay out few of them. When you get hired, and let's say you are you're working on BDD, most likely, and this is for the first one is Java. The second one is very similar, and second one has been JUnit. So there is something called Cucumber JUnit, and like I said, these libraries were created just to make BDD easy. We can simply work with Cucumber, right, without even using SRJ and JUnit and Selenium. But then when you write your syntax, you're going to see the difference, right? You're going to have to, the integration between Cucumber and JUnit in Java works well because they have their own libraries going on, right? All right, the next one is, again, there is going to be another io.cucumber, and this will be another p containers, and this is by Pyco actually, Pyco containers. Okay, so we're gonna fix that later. let me give it PyCO. I'm just gonna give it a short name. Okay. So that leaves us with all of that. So all of them right here is for Cucumber, right? To be BDD. Now, so do you think it's complete? The answer is no, because right now Cucumber just allows us to write what in plain English, okay? But it doesn't know how to manipulate browser. What do we need to be able to control the browser?
A Selenium WebDriver.
Right. So now we need to add Selenium WebDriver. Okay, and I'm gonna try to make this like maybe 15 minutes. No, not can't be doing 15 minutes because I'm explaining, but it'll be like half an hour and we'll be done with this framework. The next one, the other one would be JUnit, regular JUnit. Okay, so these are different dependencies that we need to add in order to um, basically have this framework running up and going, right? So we're bundling all of this, or we're compiling all of this together to make sure our framework works as a whole, right? So the first thing first is go into Maven repositories and start adding those. So let me just bring up my browser. Okay, Maven repository, then we're gonna be looking for, I'll start with Selenium actually. Okay, Selenium Java, that's that. We can go as high as we want to, but I guess 3.1. This is more stable. As you can see, these are alpha and beta, so we don't want to deal with those. Okay, so Selenium is, let me just make sure that we're getting the right. Okay, so this is Selenium. So let me go ahead and copy this. And again, as you can see, Maven, right? Another build management tool called Gradle. We got Ant somewhere. I don't think they have Ant, but Ant is another one. And they have the same purpose, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and add it right there, right? You see right there where it says Selenium. The next thing that I need to add is JUnit, right? So, and I'm pretty much going from bottom up to make sure that we are, all right, let me see actually which version, 12, 14. Okay, so 4, 12 JUnit. Okay, that's fine with me. How do I copy this? Okay, there we go. All right, so that leaves us with, so we got JUnit and we got Selenium so far. The next thing is, and again, the reason why I'm going in a different route is because I could have just go like bottom up, but we need Cucumber. It has a pretty good sequence, right? So Cucumber, Java, JUnit, and then Pico, right? So it makes sense that we go from basic to advanced here. So let's type Cucumber here and Cucumber JVM. So this one gotta be Cucumber Java, I believe, or let's see. All right, I'm just debating which one I should take, because the higher version of Cucumber does have some restrictions around the syntaxes, right? So I'm probably gonna go a little bit lower. You know what? I'm gonna go as high as I can, and then if we have problems, we can come back down. So Cucumber Java right here. This is what I would double check, because there is so many dependencies here that has similar name. You would pretty much get confused. Okay, so immediately you see it's red, and we'll explain why. Then we are looking for Cucumber. So first one we got Cucumber Java. Okay, actually that is that, and we don't need this. Then we need Cucumber. JUnit. So if you just type Cucumber and go through this, as you can see, we got Cucumber Java and this Cucumber JUnit. Okay. I'm also gonna go as high as I can, and then we will. Oh, okay. So when you click on it, it copies already. So that's pretty good. So then we got Cucumber JUnit. Then we need Cucumber P container. Cucumber. So I'm gonna just do the same thing, and let's go through this. And as you can see right here, P container. I'll go ahead and there's two of them. So it's kind of like gets me confused sometimes. When I see same name having two things, it's just okay. So this must be the old one. Must be the new one. So I'll go ahead and copy, boom, and done. So we have our self container JUnit job. Okay, and we're missing assert J, and assert J is pretty good when you need to do a lot of assertions, and let's see real quick. This is assert J core, right? Yep, that's what we are looking for. That's it. Perfect. Okay. All right, so these are all the dependencies we just got. I'm gonna go ahead and fix them up a little bit right here. And then again, you can write your notes if you need to. Like you can also write your like dates that you updated them and things like that. So later on when you need to upgrade, meaning you're gonna go in there and basically upgrade it to another version, you can. I don't know why it says test. Did I copy the test still? Let me see. Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll leave it as is, how it came, right? All right, so that's that. Now, as you can see on your pom.xml, there is says load Maven changes, right? Because we just made changes, so we need to load them. So if I click that, and it will now, in theory, it should not be read anymore. So let's see what happens. In behind the scene, as you can see right here, down right here, it's loading things, right? And right now we see nothing is read. Everything is good. Okay. Now I'm expecting some error. I'm expecting some issues with our Maven being upset because it needs maybe a how do I say this, source tag right here. I don't know. Okay, we do have source for 11. I just want to see if it throws an error, then we'll just make some changes here because that will fix it. But most likely this is fine, since we're using the latest Maven at this point. But if not, then we'll come back and fix it. All right, so immediately after that, since we have just finished, right, creating, so under source, we're gonna create a package, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and go into source and Java, right? Source test. So this is Java, and then we're gonna go source and then test and Java, right? So Java is a folder, and I'm gonna create a package first, okay? New, and let's see if it gives me, okay, there we go. And when we create a package, we want to, let's say, give it a relative name. In this case, let's say we are automating for regression. We are creating regression suite, right? So I'll give it a nice regression name. And again, your package should not be uppercase, starting with uppercase. It's not a class, right? And it will get upset. So regression, right? Test. You know what? I'll give it a nice name, acceptance test, right? So acceptance test, because we are writing in BDD. BDD is meant for pretty much writing acceptance test. So, okay. All right. And then, okay, actually, okay, acceptance test. As you can see, we can create features. What I'm trying to do actually, okay, so let's go with this first. Okay, so the first thing that we want to create, we want to not create a class. We're going to create a file. Okay, in the file, we're going to give it a name, right? So we're going to, like, this is our first test, correct? So we're going to give it a nice relative name, first underscore or first test, right? Dot. We're going to end with feature. Okay. And immediately at what you can see here is that there is a cucumber icon. The cucumber icon basically telling you that, hey, you did something right, meaning it's not red, it's working. That means everything that we did here, it's loaded and it's good to go. Okay. Now let's start writing our test. We're ready to write the test. Okay. So first thing first, in a feature file, you need to have feature keyword. Okay. Then each of the scenario is a new test case. So we got, if you write scenario, scenario, we got scenario outline and scenario template. So we're going to use scenario outline and scenario today. And we go from there. So feature number one is, feature is basically what is your objective? What do you trying to do? This is like, think about the file header, or think about like the description that you want to, what is your intention, what is your goal, right? So whatever you write here is not code, right? You can write as descriptive as you need to be. So you're going to say, as a user, I would like to search for and we're for the first test, we're going to be writing Google, right? So I'm just writing something relevant to that. Search for keywords and get a result based on that, right? That keyword, right? So let's say it's just only about Google search and that's it, right? So the first thing is verify that user can on Google keyword search, given I am on the Google page when I am searching for open, right? I'm going to just leave this open, searching for something, right? The result containing all right, so that is our first scenario. We just need to automate them, right? Right now, you see, notice how it's highlighting because it doesn't have anything. So we need to be able to automate those, okay? So if I run it, what's gonna happen, right? So let's see, if I click on the light bulb, it will say, hey, you wanna create a step definition. This is one way to create a step definition. Another way is to do dry run. In Cucumber, dry run means when you run it without having any sort of code, and it will point out and tell you like where you need to write those codes. Okay, so let's see what it is that it's doing. And as you can see, two things that we can verify immediately is that after the dry run, it is giving us what we need to do. As you can see, right here, we just need to copy this and make a and put it into our step definition. Then, and the other thing is that it also means that our Maven is not upset. The reason I was expecting to make a change right here is because Eclipse, when I used to work with Eclipse, there would be always that issue that property tag needs some sort of help here, right? Some sort of changes is needed. Fortunately, looks like our IntelliJ is fine. Now, if you were to take the same framework and put it in Eclipse, you must most likely you'll have to make some changes here to make it work. Okay, so it is kind of pain going back and forth with IntelliJ and Eclipse. But I've also seen companies like my most recent company that I was helping. One of the student is that his company says we don't want to use anything but Eclipse. So I'm like, okay, it's fine, just use Eclipse. But just know that this platform IDE or Eclipse or IntelliJ or Eclipse, they have 80%, 90% similarities. The only good thing about IntelliJ is that it allows you to do a lot of things on your own. Like, for example, if you do not remember how to do push and pull code, you can actually now do it directly from the VCS tab. So that is one of the significant help, because you can write your code and then you can deliver it within minutes, versus you would be typing it on the terminal and you may or may not know what you're doing if this is your first time. All right, so one way to do that is that we copy the definition. You see, write some code here. It's missing code. Another way to do that is by clicking on the bulb. So I'm going to click on the bulb. It says create a step definition, and I'm going to leave it as my step def is the file name, and I'm going to click OK. And notice it created a shell for me, right? Meaning it now is, it says, okay, given this, and notice like it doesn't have any code in here, right? So we have to write some code here, okay, in order to make things happen. So let's see, let's start writing. It says I am on the Google page, right? So it says I am on the Google page. That means we have to write a step that will actually go to Google, right? That's what we want. So let's see, WebDriver. If we type WebDriver, oh, looks like our Selenium is loaded, right, and ready to go. So I'm gonna say WebDriver driver is equal to okay, and we need to basically probably put that outside so other steps can use the driver. So we'll do that in a bit. First, let's make this line work. Okay, it's equal to new. You guys remember any of these?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, as you can see, the first thing first, we had a driver instance ready to go, and then we want to say driver dot do this something, right? Driver dot get, and we want to go to Google, right? But that's exactly what we're doing with saying, right? And again, if you're wondering what this is regular expression. What it is saying is that whenever I call this phrase, ignore this phrase, but run code inside of it. Okay. And this is the method anyway, right? So it will try to run the method which contains the code, but it will definitely, the computer definitely will ignore the plain English. Plain English is for us, right? As a human, we read that and we understand what the steps does. Okay. So, and that is a little bit of extra work if you really think about it, but it has a good payoff. And the good payoff is that it makes your tests more maintainable, okay, and obviously reusable. Okay, so now go ahead and take a look. I see the first line, it's fine. It's no longer need these. We can already see it's no longer highlighted. The second two line is the problem. So what I'm going to do this time, because we did the dry run, and I want to show you what to do with dry runs too. So I'm going to copy these two and I go back to our step definition and go ahead and paste this right here, these two. Okay, 1 second. What's happening? Public class. Okay, it's got to be inside of class. My bad. Okay, there you go. And still it's red and upset. As you can see, given is there, but when is not there. So I'm going to go ahead and import this class. I'm going to go ahead and import also this class, right? And if I kind of fix this spacing right here, as you can see now, if you go back, you have all two is good to go. Okay, so let's see if the first line works. I'm going to go ahead and comment out these two and run only the first line. I don't expect it to work, but let's see what it is. Okay, and a very familiar error message. You guys remember this error message?
Yes, we need the Chrome driver.
Exactly. So we need to be able to provide where the Chrome driver is. So we're gonna go ahead and have a Chrome driver somewhere here, right? So we're gonna add that. So what I will do, first of all, I will have to say system somewhere here, right? And dot set property. The first string is for this because the Chrome driver. Second string is going to be where it's located. So what I will do probably, I want to just, okay, I'm going to put it in the project root. Okay, so new, create a file, or sorry, folder directory, drivers. Okay, drivers, that's it. And under the drivers, I'll go ahead and put another directory, C Chrome Mac, right? So if you're doing Windows, then obviously you'll have to name it relatively, right? But for now, for all of us, I'll just put Chrome, and now we just have to download the Chrome driver, right? So, all right, it looks weird. Okay, they change how it looks. Now we got 90.0. I just want to see what version of Chrome I have, and then based off of that, I'll go. So 90.0, that's what I have too. So that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and download this, and I need the Mac one, right? So once this is unzipped, we can go ahead and so as you can see, number 2 is mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and paste it right there and click on refactor, and we have ourselves our Chrome driver. So in this case, I will just rename it because I don't like the 2 is there. Refactor, boom, done. The next thing we need to provide is the path. So I'm going to click copy path, and I'm going to get the path to the content root. We don't want the absolute. It's never going to work if you share this repository with somebody else. Okay. All right. With that said, this should be good to go now. So again, remember these two are commented out. So let's give it a run. If it works, then we move forward. If it doesn't, we'll fix something. All right, so as you can see, it is working. I just have to, if you see something like this, that means you got to go into your security, right? Security and privacy, and then go to general. Oh, okay, it doesn't have, okay. Cancel, okay, there we go. Once you cancel it, it says, look, Chrome driver was blocked, allow, okay? And now it wants my password. Once you do the allow and run it again, this time around, it will ask your confirmation. And you should be good to go. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and click open, and boom. We have pretty much our Cucumber framework working at this point. Okay, so how many people actually like this? Tell me that. Okay, as you can see that I am on Google page, whatever, and I can run it. But as you can see, you don't have to see the code unless you really want to. As you can see how the code is on the first place. So let's give it a second to kind of sink in what's happening. Anybody with any questions so far? And if you do have questions, you can ask. But if you don't have any question, what do you think about this? Would you use this versus the other one, the one that we learned?
I think this one, Cucumber one.
Why?
Because is pretty much use plain English. That's why we can easily understand what's going on there. Understand the code.
Mm-hmm. But why you need to easily understand? You're the QA engineer, and you wrote the code. Do you really need this?
The product owner also understand. He really he can provide this the plain English, and we can run that, and throughout that we can put the code in a step definition class.
Right. So that's the good answer. But if you say we, like, if you say you understand, then the question is like, wait a minute, you're supposed to know already. Like Q engineer like does coding, right? So you're supposed to not, to understand what the code is. You don't really need to write plain English. You can always go ahead and write some comment on your code, and you can read it later. But the significant, obviously, that is also helping, right? Because you can just come, you don't have to go and dig down. You can just still read and understand. But
Yes.
the huge help here is that your product owner, your business can be involved to give you the scenario, and you'd be able to just write the code, just write the code and focus on it. That is one. The second one is the maintainability, because over time, after 3 or 4 months later, when you come here and you're updating something, you know what this line does immediately, right? So that's why it is pretty good in terms of, I guess, one of the reason why people choose Cucumber. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else with questions? So nobody have any question? Okay. The other thing is that Cucumber provides their own report server. So even though it has its own HTML report, it also have a report server. You can actually generate a report that will create a link, and you just give that link to your boss and he'll be able to see it. You need to put publish is equal to true in order to have the link created for you. So if your company decides to get advanced version of Cucumber and pay for that and get a license, then you will have your own report server, where you can see reports flowing through. Anybody runs your test, you will see the report showing up in the report server, single place. So it's pretty good in terms of integration. Cucumber actually also work with Jenkins CI server, has a very good support. Um, and overall, Cucumber is been, I guess, in existence for a very long time. So it has a lot of support out there. So if you are struggling with something, you will find it. Compared to the new tools, there is a new tool called Cypress. Um, you're not going to find a lot of support. It is supposed to be faster and easier, but the fact that you don't have a lot of support, it is harder for you if you're just getting to use it. All right, so let's write our next step. Okay, so next step is basically I am searching for a keyword, right? So notice how I didn't put the word over there. So we're gonna basically then go ahead and put it here. As you can see, throws exception, blah, blah, blah. We don't need these 2 lines, and we'll just go ahead and edit. So if I do driver dot get, as you can see, like driver is not recognized. What's happening here? As you can see, look, driver is upset, whatever, right? So we'll just go ahead and make this available for all of our steps. So we're gonna say web driver is equal to driver. Boom, that's it. That's the only thing we need to do, and we're good to go. Okay. And this is called instance variable, and later we have provided the definition for that variable, what needs to be done. Okay, so now driver, we did this much, driver.get Google, right? Driver. And if we go to Google and we want to search something, let's go back to Google real quick. Oh, why is it going to go daily? There we go. And we want to search something up here. And let's say the first search is, I don't know. I will inspect this. Okay, and it has a name called Q, and we want to search for, let's say, I don't know, a MacBook Pro or something like that. Okay, so you're searching for MacBook Pro in that. So driver dot find element, right? By dot, let's say, name in this case, and we already saw it, what it is, right? Q is the name, and by needs to be imported. So import the class. And once that is done, you want to send keys something, right? So send keys. This is where we're going to write our MacBook Pro. But remember what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to say keyword. Okay, so notice how it takes a string right here. is going to pass on the string here, and keyword is keyword. So I'm going to go ahead and put this. As you can see, keyword, we have not write anything at all, right? We didn't even write MacBook. So how is it going to work? So that'll be a surprise for you. So let me just go ahead and press enter. And we did this before, so I'm not going to make it a mystery. So we're going to say tabs dot enter. I think tabs and tabs dot, oh, special key, right? Keys. Oh, there you go, keys right here, keys dot. Okay, so we want to say enter, or oh, isn't it tab? What? Okay, let me just see. Real quick. Press. I keep forgetting. Press enter. And so on. Enter or return, right? Return should be returned. So keys. Okay, keys dot return. Oh wow. That's not working. Keys dot. Keys dot. What did it say in here? Keys dot return. Okay, let's see. RET. Okay, there you go. It's right here. For some reason, I wasn't able to get it working. Okay. So what's going to happen is it's going to type something. After that, it'll hit a return. Okay. So now notice how we still didn't write MacBook Pro. So we're going to say, okay, so any questions so far? Because this is kind of something that I'm trying to explain. I write MacBook Pro here, right? If you go inside of the definition, I have keyword, okay? Where is the MacBook Pro? Nowhere, right? But remember, this is a string that passing on, okay? The first variable will be passing on to keyword. Keyword is still a variable that is holding a temporary value from string. And what is the value from string is actually MacBook Pro. Anything, any questions, or you guys got it? What I'm doing is I'm passing the variable value from the feature file to the step definition file, right? And right here, nowhere here it says MacBook Pro. It's just going to pass that information. Okay, so it seems like everybody understood. We will go ahead and run this. And let's see if it works. If it does, then we move on to the next steps. MacBook Pro, boom. Okay, so MacBook Pro is there. And now we have to just do an assert. That's the last one. This is then containing this keyword, B. And then we get string. We're going to say expected value or expected keyword. Keyword, boom. And we don't really need these things right here. So what I'm going to do is it's basically assertion. So I'm going to say driver dot get. So just pretty much get page source at this point, right? So here I'm going to say boolean expected result. We're expecting this to be true. Okay. So is equal to driver.getPageSource.contains. The entire page should contain these expected keywords, okay, somewhere. Okay, if that is the truth, then we want to say is good, right? So now I can say assert dot, I guess assert true. What's happening? Create now. So we'll go like JUnit actually. So it has testng too. and we got assert j. So you see, remember we got assert j, so we should be using assert from assert j dot oh my goodness, okay, core assert j is there. Okay. Okay, let's see JUnit, because I'm not comfortable with assert j at this point. There you go, assert true. Boom. Okay, and we good to go. So notice assert j is gone from here, which is good. All right, so we just finished writing our first test. Okay, so go ahead and run this. If it works, then we will boom, MacBook Pro is everywhere, so it should pass. Okay, so as you can see, scenario 1 passes. We should probably do we should probably enable Cucumber. Okay, 1 second. Publish is equal to true. I think copy. We need JUnit. Okay, environment variables is publish is enable. Okay, so copy. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to go ahead and publish the report. So I'm going to copy this line right here, and it says environment variable. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the environment. Let's see what it does. That publish and enable. Okay. This is JUnit and this is Cucumber properties. If we have Cucumber properties, but we don't, right? So what we're going to do, okay, this thing is kind of blocking my view. I gotta remove this from here. 1 second. Holy crazy. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the zoom tabs is blocking my view. Let me just go ahead and move to bottom. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, now that we are here, we're gonna click on run. We're gonna do edit configuration. We're gonna, you see this is our configuration anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, go to Cucumber Java. I'm gonna go ahead and add environment variables. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a plus V, and you see true, so I just need to do the value to true right here. Okay, click OK, apply, done. Okay, so now we should expect to see a report somewhere on the sky, right? So when it's done. Perfect. Okay. And in this case, as you can see, view your report at this address. So click on this real quick. And your report is loading. So as you can see, we ran it on MacBook. We ran it with 11.0. We ran it with Cucumber JVM 6.10. And we have 100% test passing. Okay. So this is a server that is separate. If you log in with your GitHub, it will probably associate you with the account. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign in and see what it does actually. Now I can authorize SmartBearer, redirect to, okay, that's good. So now as you can see, I am the owner of this thing. And let me just open up the file. As you can see, our test right here, verify this, verify that. So isn't it nice, right? You can share the link to your boss and you're like, oh, wow, he created all these things, but only if you knew that this comes by itself, if he's technical enough to know that. But anyway, you see how the report looks like? This is how it's gonna look like when you generate a report locally. You don't have to publish the report. There will be companies like Working for Finance, and they don't like you to share anything at all outside of what they do. So if you happen to pass this to Cucumber and be able to generate a report, just don't show it, because they're gonna be like, oh, what is this? You know, we don't want information going out of where they are unless it's approved. You can definitely ask them if you want to do something like this. Okay. So with that said, we just wrote our first test scenario. Then the next scenario that we want to write is test. It's basically scenario outline. Scenario outline, remember, we explained last week. How many people remembers that? So let's go ahead and somebody Tell me what scenario outline is.
I think more than one scenario.
No, this have more than one data, sets of data, I think.
Exactly. So you have more than one test data and you need to be able to execute them. So imagine like you work for Google and they said verify if the search works correctly. Would you be searching only one keyword and go running to him and say, hey, it works after 5 minutes? Or would you run like 1,000,000 times and then reach out to him after 5 days and say, hey, I ran it 1,000,000 times? And 99% of the time it is passing. There is 1%, and that could be related to my keyword. Okay. Is it acceptable answer? Which one is more sounds like professional answer than the first between these two?
The one with the million?
The one with the
No, the
5
million?
minutes, the 5 minutes one,
No, the other one.
the other one, right? Where you actually spend and have 5 million keyword search, and then you got yourself 99% passing, right? Versus you did one test and you running up to him like, hey, I remember you gave me this task like 2 minutes ago. It's working, it's passing, right? It doesn't say anything because search, Google search is so big is that you just simply one keyword search doesn't really tell the whole story. It may pass for the one keyword, but what about the different keywords that you would like to search in, right? So anyway, what we are going to do, we're going to sort of simulate something like that. Let's say you got keywords like 20 keywords and verify blah, blah, blah. So in this case, this is a keyword, this is going to be keywords. Okay. Yes. So just know that. And so we're going to do outline, and immediately you're going to see is red. So now that you see is red, what can you do to make it, what it is expecting data to be passed on, right? When you do scenario outline, it's expecting data. So how do we do data? We call them examples. Okay, so ex, and this is how we pass the data with examples. And now these examples made this thing no longer upset, right? Before it was red and upset. So here I'm gonna like just write down, I guess, test data. It doesn't do anything. This is just a string to remind myself what it is. And 1 test data, 2 test data, right? So the first one is gonna be keyword. Okay, so this is table header, right? This is gonna be a table, right? Table header. So, and I want to replace this with this keyword. And just know the pattern, right? Our keyword and expected keyword is the same thing. So why not just copy this and paste it here too? Whatever we're expecting is the same thing. Okay, so simply keyword. Okay, so now the first one is iPhone. The second one is MacBook Pro. And you guys start giving me things that I can write here. Go ahead. What do you want? Each give me one. I wrote 2 for you guys. Nobody knows what to search in Google?
Samsung.
Samsung what? Samsung is big as a company, right? Okay, but I don't mind. What else?
iPhone 11.
We got iPhone already.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. What else?
Earpod.
Okay. What else?
Android.
Anything else?
Selenium.
Anything else?
Xbox.
Xbox. Okay. Anything else?
PlayStation.
Okay. Anything else? All right. This will be the last one. So whoever says first.
Samsung Tab.
Wait, tablets or tab?
Yeah, tablet.
Okay. All right, so let me just fix this real quick. Boom. And looks nice, right? Okay. So now let's do a guessing game here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and right click and run this. Tell me how many times this 3-line will run. And you get numbers on the left, so you shouldn't have to like count. So who wants to say how many times it will run?
I would take a guess, maybe 9 times,
9 times, and why?
because we have 9 different keywords.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Yes, you're right, because you see the first one is the header, right? This is a table header. It only takes this as a variable name, okay, and we're using that already, followed by all the values that it belongs to keyword that will be alternating one at a time. So one is done, the next one, and the next one, right? So let's go ahead and quickly run this and see what takes place, right? So we can see it with our eyes, and boom, done. Again, Google MacBook Pro, and done. Okay, Samsung, done. Done. Oh, earpods and AirPods. And I'll tell you why it didn't fail. Okay, so we're gonna fix, there is something in our test that will almost make everything pass. And I'll tell you why, or maybe like you tell me, right? Why is it never gonna fail? All right, everything passed, okay? And we probably have ourselves, we probably have, let me see, a report. So let me go ahead and open the report somewhere out there. As you can see, 9 executed, 1 ignored, and everything looks good. Boom. How nice this is, right? It's pretty nice. And you can delete it if you want to, right? So you got 9 that is passing. And now let's do a guessing game here. Why would nothing will fail? Why do you think nothing is going to fail? And this is something to do with our assertion. And let me bring the code, and then you tell me why that nothing will ever fail. Anybody wants to guess? Okay, so let me explain what's happening here, okay? And it's good to know, right? But it's for the lesson, for today's lesson, we're able to complete it, but I need to explain to you guys why this never will fail, right? What's happening is you searching a keyword, right? But then this keyword, the exact keyword still carries on inside of the search box. And what we are doing, we're saying, grab everything from the page, meaning everything that includes this also, right? So the keyword that you are asserting will be always true, because this is also includes in the page, okay? So instead of looking the entire page, you need to say, okay, I would like to see the first one or second one that contains. So what you need to basically do is you want to grab it from, let's say here, the first title, second title, something like that, or maybe from here, and from this container, center call, whatever is the container name, okay, there you go. So R sent, right? If you are inside of this and grabbing all the text, so this is an ID, right? So we're gonna use that right now and fix our thing. Anybody that here didn't understand, then I will pretty much wait. So this is ID. Let me just see if this ID is unique. It has 5 match, so I just wanna make sure. And it's not unique, so we can't really use that. So let me go back real quick. Okay, so All right. Okay, so let me just real quick. The first line, H31 and H31. Query is this. ID is RSO. Okay, RSO, div.rso, div hash RSO. And that is only one, right? But then that is everything, right? I just want to make sure it doesn't include this. It includes everything. Okay, so it doesn't really, it's not going to work. We need something that doesn't include the whole thing, because otherwise it's never going to fail. Okay, so we can probably we can also do this, right? Showing results and say result state, and it should include some number, right? We can also say that, but that doesn't really validate the keyword. It could give you any unnecessary things, right?
Yeah, but yeah. So what I was saying, maybe you can do a relative XPath on this.
This one right here.
Yeah, but yeah. So
Let me see, right click, copy, XPath. The thing is that the reason like why you're not able to grasp this is the class, and it doesn't even have an ID. So let me look into anything else that we can grasp here, right? So data HVID. So this is something that maybe Google uses for themselves. Okay, you see how they added this strange looking ID? So what happens is when you work in a real environment and you really need something to be able to test, then you can request your engineers, right? You can request the developers to create some sort of ID. And what they do is they, as you can see, one of one, they create an ID that doesn't even belong to the HTML part of it, right? So this ID right here is a custom ID was created. So simply Selenium will not recognize by ID. You need to use CSS selector, right? So as you can see now with our CSS selector right here, it's working. So at least it's grabbing all of the results, which is good. So within this result, if we can find, and I wonder if class G will work, right? So let's see. No, it's not going to work. Okay, so only this one will work. And again, you need to understand what data ID, data dash HVID. This is how Google is actually doing their testing. The test engineers requested this. Okay, and you can do the same thing at your workplace. So here, what we can do instead of saying get page source, we will be just grabbing this text, all of the text. Okay, so we're gonna say, boom. So instead of Boolean, I'll just go ahead and let me just get rid of this whole line, and then we'll get back to this. So driver dot find element by dot CSS selector, and this is our CSS selector, and we want to do. What do we want to do here, guys? Who can answer?
Send keys.
Why do you need send keys?
no,
Can
we
you write
really,
something?
it should be get text because we are
Get text, right?
validating. Yeah.
Okay. So we got the get text, and let's say, and I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna say results is equal to this, and then this should be get text will give us like a string, right? So, okay, then we're gonna say result dot contains expected keyword. If that's the case, then it will give us true or false, and this is going to be Boolean, so true or false should be right inside there. Okay, what did I just do? Okay, this is the one. Okay, good. All right, any question here? Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. We're gonna see some failures because, like for example, earpod is actually airpod, something like that. iPhone has iCapital and things like that. So let's see which fails, which passes real quick. MacBook Pro, boom. Okay, so notice how like it opens up a new browser every time. We need to close the previous one. So okay, and there are some failures, which is expected because you see the case it's not gonna match, right? So we're gonna take a look and we'll have to fix it. So it's case sensitive. We're gonna make case not sensitive, right? Because then we will have some less failures at least. We got 2 failures, and we'll see why that failed. Okay, 78% passing, 2 failed, and let's see go ahead. What is failing here? All right, SRJ, okay, earpods didn't find any, and PlayStation was not found because PlayStation is a single word, if I'm not mistaken. Everything else were fine. So did you just see the quality of your test, right? Your test could be like, okay, you wrote some code, but then it could be doing nothing. Like previously what we did, right? Previously, whatever test we wrote, it really wasn't helping your company. Now these tests 100% will help because it will look for that specific keywords. And it's great that it found few things, right? Because it didn't find it in search results. Earpod there's no such thing called earpod. And then PlayStation should be all, it's camel casing, as you can see. It's not finding anything, right? You see, there's nothing, the way that we searched is nothing like that. So as long as you write it like this, let's copy this, then it will probably pass. Okay, PlayStation right here. Okay, and then we need to say, and I close the browser, right? Since you're done, like, why bother keeping it up, right? So let's just, because mine right here, as you can see, is just piling up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create the steps. Where's my light bulb? I'm waiting for the light bulb here. So it gives me a very good option. If it doesn't, then I just type it in. So I close the browser, boom, boom, boom. The reason it's not giving me, because our scenario outline is kind of weird. 1 second, it should be, if I highlight something, it will, okay. Come on, it's loading something or something, okay. It's probably loading something. All right, so let's type it in. So, and, okay. And it's red, we'll fix that later. I close the browser, And this is upset, import class. And then we're gonna say driver dot close. And that's it, simply is that, okay? So let's go back to our thing, and I close the browser. We just fixed one thing. The other one is earpods, right? Is it earpods or AirPods? Sorry. So let's see. And this time it should pass everything. Right, I believe this is, there we go. This should be the way it is right here. Okay, so AirPods. All right, so we are expecting all of them to pass at this point. And notice it's not going to open again. It will probably just go and browser close by itself. I don't have to see these garbages here. Let me just go ahead and close them. See, it's opening and it's closing, which is good. Before it was just piling, which wasn't good. And it's keep opening. Okay, very good. All right. And as you can see, there are some warnings. We'll have to take a look, but one failed for some reason. So we'll go ahead and now take a look what's happening. Let's look at the report real quick. It's probably going to be the easiest thing to do. First thing, 99% or 98% open. Okay, no such thing, element, CSS, blah, 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 blah. So it couldn't find this for some reason. This data ID was not found. And this is for the Xbox, but previously it did find it. So what does it tell you? What was the issue here then? If previously it was found and right now it says I can't find it, immediately you should think about the timing, right? It's because of the timing. And this is really not a real issue as long as you have some good timing going on. If you put an explicit wait or something, wait for this element, then you should be good, right? But I bet you if I run it right now, it'll work because I was at the same time I was doing a lot of closing of the browser. Maybe something got upset. So let's give it one more run. If it doesn't pass, then we will fix it. And in a real field, obviously, for any of the element, we need explicit wait. We want to wait for this guy first, okay? So we're going to probably add this, but I want to see if it fails again first before we go ahead and implement this. Okay. iPhone. All right, so I think everything passed, but we'll see. Again, one failed, which is not cool, but let's see. We just 89. Okay, this time it fails something else, Selenium, blah, blah. And I should see the results and same thing, same exact thing, right? So that tells me the test is running fast, but it's not waiting for things. Immediate solution is, and this is something that you guys should think about, right? Immediate solution, I can say, you know what? It's going too fast. I'm going to go ahead and put a sleep, right? I can put a, before doing anything, I can do thread.sleep, and I can put a 1 second wait, one, there we go. And that's 1 second wait, right? And that will fix this problem because it's too fast. But the real solution is that you put some sort of wait, and you want to say, I want to wait for this element to appear first, okay? So basically both solutions is going to work. Now, which one should we go with and why, right? Anybody here that wants to like kind of guess with this? Anybody? There are something called different weights, right? So maybe we should think about what kind of weights we can put. There is fluent weight, there is explicit weight, and there is implicit weight, right? In this case, which weight should we implement? Anybody? I know somebody talked about implicit or explicit weight like a few weeks ago. Anybody wants to try this? All right, so let's do a wait, right? So we want to wait for some sort of element, right? So what we can do, we can say WebDriver wait, right? WebDriver. Okay, there you go, right here. WebDriver wait, and we can say, let's say wait is equal to. And you may think like, oh, this single thing fixes it. Why should we write 2 more lines? I'll explain in a second, right? So we'll, and then this should be the same. Copy this, and we gotta do new wait, and we're gonna say driver, and we can say wait up to 5 seconds, right? You see time in seconds, and then okay, that's that. Wait. Okay, let me just get rid of this static wait is making my thing fair. So wait, right? So the same wait right here. Goodness. So copy this wait dot until somewhere. Okay, there we go. Until is right there, and we want expected x. So, okay, until maybe we can say this thing right here, dot presence, I think presence or dot visible. Let me see the syntax real quick. Okay, so it's expected conditions right there. Yeah, that's the one. Conditions. Okay, expected conditions, and then we want to say dot visibility of. So we can say visibility of like more than one thing, but we want only one element, right? And then we want to put this element right here, the whole element. So it needs to be visible. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a name of this element, web. And this is called results, container result. That, and okay, so this right here. Then we want to, okay, so this, since this is results is already there, we don't really need this. Okay, results.get text. That's it. And this should fix the issue where it waits 5 seconds, right? And it should definitely fix that issue. So it should be visible off. I hope its element is actually, visible, but let's give it a try. Sometime waits, like you have to try more than once because we don't have a control over the HTML portion, right? If this is a hidden element, then we have an issue, right? So let's go ahead and see. This time we're expecting all of them to be passed since we implemented this explicit wait. All right, after this, we're gonna explain to you what explicit implicit wait is, fluent wait is, and we should be going good from there. So notice it's not gonna delay anything, right? And why didn't we use sleep thread.sleep and things like that? Anybody want to tell me why we didn't use thread.sleep?
Yes, Joel.
Go ahead.
I think for thread or sleep, it will wait for every step or every element. We're just looking for.
And basically, it is a static wait, right? Meaning that way it will wait for that amount of time, even if it takes less. Okay, So if you put like, let's say 5 seconds, it will not go more or less. It will wait 5 seconds. Now imagine you have 1,000 test cases. That's a lot of time you're waiting.
Yeah.
This one will do any amount up to 5 seconds, right? So it could be like 2 milliseconds later, it found it and it will work. Okay, so it saves time, and it doesn't make your execution go longer. But anyway, Selenium failed. I wonder is something to do with the case, because this is not case corrected, right? Even iPhone was fine, so I wonder what's happening. But we could have also fixed our code to say, okay, look for case, make this non-case sensitive, right? But it's okay. We'll go ahead and run it one more time. And I don't know why Selenium is, before it failed something else and we fix it, and now Selenium is upset. So, all right. Okay, Selenium probably failed again, because what I noticed is with for Selenium, it's it didn't even wait. So, and it should have waited because Selenium probably do not have that specific. Okay, I realize what's happening. And we have 2 failures. Let me just go ahead and open it up real quick. Do we have 2 failures or 2 failed? Oh goodness. Okay, so we got MacBook Pro failed, and we have no such element, unable to locate. Boom. Okay. Even 5 seconds didn't work. Okay, and then so this is definitely going fast, right? It's really fast method. Okay, so the weight that we put in didn't really help a lot, right? So we're gonna get basically have to think about another ways to deal with. So let's look into driver. Okay, so we're gonna put first. We're gonna put an implicit weight. Anybody remember what implicit weight is? Okay, so let's learn as we go. Okay, so first thing first, when we create a driver and we put a weight at the driver level, meaning we are telling the driver, hey, as soon as you're created, make sure you wait for things that takes a little bit of time. Okay, don't just rush into it. That's basically happening at the driver level, right? So we're gonna say right here, okay, we're gonna say something like this: driver dot manage timeout implicit blah blah blah, right? So don't timeout right away. Give us 10 seconds, okay? So implicit wait, I hope this is in seconds, okay? So it's gonna wait up to 10 seconds before it'll basically make things upset, right? And that's what we need to do. This is called implicit wait. Okay, how do I spell this? implicit, implicit wait. Okay, so this is implicit wait. And why do we need this? You guys remember, implicit wait will wait for anything at all up to 10 seconds if it's not there. Okay, so it'll pretty much wait until the browser finishes loading and wait for an element for 10 seconds. So previously what we did is explicit. We are explicitly waiting when we do explicit wait. So let me just go ahead and write this. Realize it, explicit wait. Explicit wait is basically when you wait for a element to be present. Implicit wait is when you just want to tell the driver, wait, if you don't find anything, if you don't find what you're expecting, just wait 10 seconds. But this wait doesn't work all the time because it's tied to the page and it is a global wait, right? So it's not going to be successful with all of that. You need combination of both at some points. So let's see if we run it right now, how it makes difference to our test. All right, and it made it made pretty big difference, right? So, all right, null point. Let's see, what am I doing wrong? Null pointer exception. What did I do? We got the timeout here somewhere, right? Let's see. Driver. Okay, we don't have the timeout. Okay, there you go. Timeout is right here. Okay. Oh yeah, because that is, we need to do this after we visit. Okay, so unfortunately we did before. It should be right here. Okay. Okay, so it needs to have the driver open, right, before we can put that explicit wait. Sorry, implicit wait. So in the meantime, this is running. Who can tell me what is explicit and what is implicit wait? Okay, I'm gonna choose you guys because I just explained this, right? So one at a time, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you guys. Okay, Faisal, you start first. What is implicit wait and what is explicit wait?
Implicit wait 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 until the element is fully loaded in the browser.
So that's you're explaining implicit or explicit?
Yeah, implicit.
Okay. Implicit, you're saying an element, just one element is going to be loading, or you're saying
No, the
anything
full page
at
is
all?
loading.
Right. Okay. And then
Explicit wait wait up to one element is visible loaded.
okay, just explicit is basically you know which element you want to wait for, and then you say, okay, hey, can you wait until this? And that is explicit.
Yes.
So anyway, let's see. Still something failed this time. We need to address that. AirPod. Again, this guy is totally okay. So unable to locate, and I'm gonna go into this line number because this may not be. This may something that we need to probably handle it very differently at this point. Notice how the failure is happening, right? AirPods is fine, and then Samsung is fine, and then Selenium was not fine, now it's fine, and then this is not fine, right? So we're pretty much going through this web element that is probably causing this issue. So element using CSS selector, blah, blah, okay. Okay, so then let me just go ahead and the other thing also, like if you ever have to use like a thread.sleep in the beginning is fine until your code is ready and everything and you figure everything out, then yes, then you're good to go. Then you can remove that. But thread.sleep is something that you can test try. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a test try here, sleep, and see why my solutions for explicit and implicit both wait didn't work. So I'm gonna put a 1 second wait when we run this, and it's now asking me to do something, add an exception right there, boom. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. This is where it was failing. And this may not be even related to this. This may be related to this guy because this guy, it clicks on return. Maybe it's clicking it too fast, right? It doesn't even wait until it's done, finish the keyword typing. So we'll put a check right here to make sure that it finished typing, then click return. So this may be because, okay, we did the right thing with explicit and implicit wait. It's just that this guy, the step before the step before this one is causing this issue. So let's go ahead and run it with thread.sleep for the time being. And if that solves by thread.sleep, then we know for fact that it is caused by the step that we're currently fixing. And then we'll just work with that. But you have to be able to kind of narrow down to which step that you need to fix. Okay, you need to narrow down to that. And if you can narrow down to it, then you're not going to be able to fix it. Okay, I've screwed up something, so I'm gonna have to restart this because I closed the browser while it was running. Okay, that's one. That's two. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this time it's passing, so we may be looking at the, okay, so everything passed, most likely. Okay, so 9 out of 9, everything passes, and you'll probably see this type of issues. So that tells me one thing is that we need to work on this step. Yes, this explicit wait didn't work, so I'm going to go ahead and fix this and see what can we do. Hold on a second. Explicit wait. So we got that the other one going. WebDriver wait. I just want to make sure that I typed this correctly. WebDriver wait, it's fine. And then we do the WebDriver reference on timeout is 5 seconds. I hope this is not like 5 milliseconds. Okay. Timeout. Okay, no, this is in second. That's good. And then what else? Windows title is this. And syntax looks correct. So what did I do? Okay, so wait is right here. Wait, and we get until. This and then okay, so if I simply leave as okay, ETL, okay. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to like run through this and what's happening. Okay, wait until visibility of element located. Okay, so let's see visibility off. This is where we have the problem, right? So visibility off result, instead of doing that, this is a web element, correct? Remember, this is a web element. So this is where we're messing it up. So let me just go ahead and change that. Visibility of web elements. Okay. Of this. Visibility of all, instead of all, like I want to do one. Visibility of web element. Okay, this is a web element too. Okay, so that's fine. Element located. Okay. Okay, this is the one. There we go. I mean, it has to locate the element, right? I mean, Let's give it a try. Even if you are kind of playing, how do I say this? Okay, wait a minute. That doesn't take this. Visibility located is. Let me just see what it takes actually first. Dot visibility of element located, and it takes expected condition is okay, and it takes a web element by locator. Okay, this is by locator. Okay, and so we're using a locator there, so it should be fine. Let's see. Okay, let's see what's happening. Cast parameter. Okay. All right, located, and then we have to provide the locator by dot. You see, and then we got to provide this one. So I'm just basically using the method and just looking into what it is that it's expecting. Okay, so now we're good to go. So it should be fine. And actually, this is something that we probably don't need it there. And then I will go ahead and put it right here. Okay. We're going to remove the 100 thing right here. And we're going to give this an up to 10 seconds. If it needs 10 seconds, then we give 10 seconds. Go ahead. And let's give it a run. Again, I don't know what to expect. Let's see. If that doesn't solve it, then we'll have to, that means like we tried 2 of the method from our explicit wait. And there are more methods that we can use for explicit wait. So we'll have to explore some of those before we can say, okay, we're done or we're not done. And notice it's waiting right now. And it should wait on, up to 10 seconds, and see it cannot find the AirPods for some reason. And it failed that one. Okay. Really? Okay. How is this failing? Okay, so let's see real quick. There is a failure somewhere. I'm gonna go and open the report real quick to see what's happening. 89% one failed, and this time, is it again the same AirPod? Oh my, okay, no, but AirPod didn't fail before, right? Okay, so this is probably something to do with the keywords and the div, like whichever we're grabbing into. But anyway, explicit wait seems to be, okay, let's see, expected condition fail, waiting for visibility of element located by data. So we got to do more than 10 seconds, most likely. It says tried 10 seconds with 500 millisecond interval, right? So every 500 millisecond, it checked and it didn't find any, okay? So for some reasons, but you can kind of see that how explicit wait is working, correct? It tried for 10 seconds and it really didn't find it for some reason. So we're gonna go ahead and add a very similar, we need to add something here too, right? Because, but okay, let's see it. Instead of 10 seconds, we're gonna do 15 this time. And we go ahead and remove this, we don't need it. Okay, and then this is what's happening. Once it clicks return, we want to wait for page load. Maybe that's better, right? Don't you think? And let's see, we can probably do some sort of page load. Okay, but that's already taken care by the
But yeah, should you make the implicit wait to like maybe 20 seconds or something?
Implicit or explicit? Like this
Yeah,
is
implicit. Yeah, on top. Make it like a 20 or something. Yeah.
yeah, but even if the implicit weight poops out, we should have this one taking care of the issue. All right, but okay, let's give it a try since we're suggesting this. Okay, let me see. What did I made a mistake here? Okay, red. 1 second.
The throws
Oh,
keyword,
throws.
you have to
Oh
take it.
yeah. I gotta remove this. Okay. All right, so let's give it a 20 seconds implicit, and explicit is 15. I'm gonna give it one more run, but I know pretty for sure, like if we kind of wait for this or something, then like because it's clicking enter very fast and leaving it. So, but anyway, give it a run. Let's see. Oh, passed this time. So 10-second wasn't enough, most likely. This time Android is the issue. 10 seconds, and so it should wait 25 seconds. No, actually 35 seconds. 10 and then okay, so another one failed this time. And it did wait 35 seconds. So the numbers of seconds really is not the issue. The issue is the amount of intervals here, right? The iterations that we're doing. Um, I have an idea after this, so let's or maybe okay. Let's go back to our report and notice how like we're still generating this report. Android is failed this time. All right, so let's give it another try with like, let me see what we are doing here. So wait for this. Okay, that's fine. And then we're saying wait until this element, okay, is there. Okay. So here, once we click on return, what I want to do is wait for something, right? So wait for, once I click on return, I want to wait for this page too. So another implicit wait, right? Because once I click on return, I want to be in this page, right? Because again, if you go to Google and you type something and you click enter, only then you show up in this page, right? So I'm going to find something from this page and I want to say that I want to wait for that. RCA, okay, this is, okay, I want to wait for the result thing. Okay, I want to wait for the, this is the result, right? App bar. Okay, let's copy this and I want to see if, okay, I want to wait for the app bar. Okay, so I'm going to do an implicit wait for the app bar. So right here is the app bar, and actually to make our life easier, we'll just copy this line and change what we're waiting for. And that's it. So we got ourselves 2 implicit wait and all 15 seconds. So as soon as it hit returns, it's gonna wait for the app bar. At least that shows that we went to the next page and it's visible there, right? So this time it should be more, we're more prepared for this. So let's see. Oh, okay. Another mistake that I'm making. If it fails, then I know what I need to add next. All right, everything passes, right? So it was pretty, it did take us a little bit of time to understand what's happening. Is that when you go to Google, right? And so you're waiting not only for one element, because this element may take time, but this element shouldn't take time, right? So at least we know if we're looking for this guy, at least we know we passed the first page and we're on the next page, and then at least we type something, right? And then only then it does the lookup for this element and then look for that specific text, okay? And the reason we see some of the browsers are still open is because we're doing browser.close, and if we have exception, it doesn't really close it because exception is preventing it. So what I'm going to do is driver.quit. So it kind of quits the entire thing. So this time we're not going to see any leftover browser open. Okay, so we just solved the problem, guys. So all right, so it's already 2. I'm gonna give you guys what needs to be done for the next class, and we go from there. This is once we finish writing some tests with Cucumber, we are pretty much close to the end of automation, right? So for those who's going in the market, just quickly finish it, quickly write your test cases using Cucumber, because what we're going to do, or what we will be doing, is when you go to the market, I will probably have you focus on some stuff other than just doing homeworks, right? And then I'll make sure homework is not the only thing that you're dealing with. Yeah. Anybody with any questions? This is 2:08 right now. And the next class, I want to see that you guys wrote at least few test cases with Cucumber and this framework. And also-
Yeah, Joe.
Yep.
Can I call you after this class?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So anybody with any questions?
So Joel bhai, so we're going to market tomorrow.
So you're the only one going, correct? Anybody else that feels like you're ready? Okay, so only Abed is going, right? Okay, so
Faisal.
sorry, Faisal. Okay, only Faisal is going, and Abed also, right? Because
Me too, yes.
Okay, good. So both of us are going. We're gonna do a call together right after this. Both of you guys have LinkedIn and everything ready. Let me just go ahead and pause the recording because people will use this later.